so much crappy food. You just mentioned that there's so much crappy food out there, and it's so easily to buy, and especially for kids. And they're so in the end they're so smart. They make everything wonderful colors and beautiful little animals and everything that makes the kids just walk in the store, and it's always at their height, so they see it right away. Sorry about that. I'll talk to you about why he's crying in a minute too. So what actually, yeah, thanks for that. What can make people make sure to, make sure that they eat healthy? What do people have to be aware of in regards to, when they go out into the shop, what's actually healthy? What, for example, do you look for on the labels on certain things? What advice can you give on that aspect?
So you don't want a lot of foods with labels. You want to stay on the outside of the grocery store. I'm sure that's how it's arranged in Europe as well. As like the outside of the grocery store is going to be the fruits, the vegetables, the meats, the cheeses, which I'm not a big fan of, but I'll throw that in there. The meats, the cheeses, the eggs, and that's some grains, some beans or some rice, that type of thing. Nuts and seeds, and other categories, but that's where you want your diet to come from. And if that makes up 80% of your diet, doesn't matter what you do outside of that. Like that's gonna be step one, and huge step one, because that's a big step, is to get to where those whole foods makes up 80% of your diet. So you're making stuff at home with those foods. Like for example, I have a smoothie in the morning, and then I have some type of lunch that's maybe I don't do salads that often, but a lot of times it's going to be leftovers. It's going to be vegetables and some type of protein or some type of beans, and that's 80% of my diet. Sometimes I'll go out to eat and I'll get pasta and bread and different less healthy foods, but that's a small percentage of my diet. And if you're just getting started, I recommend higher than that, like more 90%. And if you have health issues, sometimes you have to be like 100% consistent. Some of my clients, we have to pretty much be close to 100% to get them really well. But once you get to your ideal body weight and you feel great, you can give yourself space. But as long as you're eating 80% real food, home cooked, or if you have good options for like restaurant food, but most people don't. Most people, if you're going to a restaurant, it's going to be the cheapest ingredients. They're going to throw oil all over it, cheap oil all over anything that they make. So that's why you have to keep that one to a minimum, and prepare most of your food at home. And if you follow that, you're going to be good.
Excellent. Great.
Better
Thanks
off than most people, just on that one.
Yeah, and thanks for the explanation about 80%. That gives a good, clear idea as well on what people should look for.